discuss about the last year question papers of geography method. So now I am going to discuss about the question paper of 2018. So let me discuss with you regarding the question number 1. The question number 1 is discuss the nature and scope of learning geography. So here there are two parts of the question and the total mark is 16 and one part it carries 8 marks. So the first is nature and what you will write about the nature of geography. So regarding the nature of geography, while writing about the nature of geography, first you have to give an introduction regarding the geography as a social science and then you will have to give some definitions of the geography. So the first the introduction, the question will answer will write, you will write like this: introduction, then some definition of geography 1 or 2, then nature. Geography as an earth science, geography as an applied science, geography as a physical science. So geography as a social science, try to explain all these aspects. So those are the nature of geography. So then next is nature of geography and you will find in the book how geography, you will explain how geography as an earth science, because geography deals with the physical features of the earth like this, and how geography is a social science and geography related with the social life of the people, and how geography is a physical science and how it deals with nature, and that is why geography is called as also natural science. So all these aspects you have to write regarding the nature. And so far the scope of geography is concerned, you have to write the area of geography, what it includes. There are different types of geography like economic geography, natural geography, and so all these aspects you will have to write so far the scope is concerned. So far the scope is concerned, geography as a science and geography as an art, and how geography includes different aspects like economics, political, social. These aspects are included in the scope. You will have to explain. Suppose the economic geography, how it deals with the how geography is related to economical situation of a particular place, economical condition of a particular place, economical condition, how it is determined by the geographical condition. So that is economic geography. Similarly, the social geography, when it deals with the social life of the people, it is social. Suppose industrial geography, how industrial sector is determined by the geographical feature of a particular country. So that is the first question. Then the second question is explain the, so the next is scope. That is the area. And then the second question is discuss, explain the reason for correlating geography learning with other school subjects. Why the geography is related with other school subjects. So that is question number 1. There are is, this is correlation of geography with other school subject. And what are the other school subject? I had a discussion with you regarding all these subject, that is literature, and I told you how literature describes the geographical features in different poems, in different stories. So that is how literature is also related to geography. And then social science, then mathematics, then science, physical science. So these are some of the school subject, and how geography is related to literature, how geography is related to social science. Because for example in social science there are different topics like history, geography, civics and economics. The history develops in a geographical setup
because the civilization of man develops in the river side. So that is how history is related. So all these things are described in the chapter correlation of geography with other school subject, mathematics and science. And this is one question. You need not divide the question in different types. You just write one introduction and some definition, one or two, then write correlation of geography with other school subject, and you have to write geography and literature, geography and economics, geography and mathematics, and geography and science. This is about the question number 1. Then the question number 2 is discuss the curriculum trained in geography in the context of NCF 2005. So curricular trained, and another question of 2019 is emerging trend. Both are same. The emerging trend in geography and curriculum trend in geography. So it is mentioned in the 2005 that the students of geography or geography as a school subject, they should read about local geography and geography of a particular region, that means state, the geographical condition of particular state. Suppose Odisha, they should know about the geographical condition of the Odisha, and here they should know about the geographical condition of their own locality. So the geographical condition of their own locality should be included in the curriculum, and curriculum should be prepared in the light of their local geographical condition. What is geographical condition? It may be related to region, it may be related to community, that is the weather, that is the climate, that is the rainfall, that is the temperature, that is the vegetation, that means forest area, mountain area. These are the geographical features. River, these are the geographical soil, these are the geographical features of a particular area. So when we discuss about the local geographical condition, so the students of a particular community, particular village, particular area, they should know about their climate, they should know about their temperature, they should know about their rainfall, they should know about their forest area and the products they are getting from that, and they should know about their crops. So that is the first, they should know about the local geographical condition. And then the similar way the geographical condition of their state. As a citizen, we should know first about our own state, geographical condition of our own state, the climatic condition, similarly the river, the mountain, the physical features, the vegetation, the animal, the plants, everything we should know about state. Then geography of a country. That is, we should know about the geographical condition of India. Sequentially the curriculum should be developed, then geography of other countries, that is international, that is the international geography. This is international geography. So why it is necessary to know about the local, state or particular region and a country? Because geography, so far the geographical features or geography is concerned, so far our earth is concerned, all these geographical factors, all the geographical conditions are related to each other. One geographical condition affect the other. So the mountain, the forest and the temperature, the rainfall, it affect the of a particular region, it affect the geography of a particular country. So as all the geography conditions, all the geographical features are interrelated, interdependent. That is why the trend or emerging trend or the 2005 NCF emphasized that the curriculum should prescribe the geography of all these aspects. So that is the second question, the first part of the second question. So in this way you have to write similarly introduction, geography, and then the objective of NCF 2005, and then the objective. So first you will have to write introduction on geography. So for that question, then NCF 2005, only the objectives of social science. Objectives are social science. Then emerging or curricular trend. You have to write what I have already discussed. So that is the answer of the question. That question. Then in the or, discuss with example how discovery method can be used in teaching of geography and states its limitation. So far your methods are concerned, I think there is a method that is discovery method. Discovery is a type of, it is problem solving method or problem solving, or in the previous year it was heuristic. In the name of, I think it is heuristic method, through which the students, they will develop the ability how to explore the knowledge, of geography by solving a problem. So there are different steps. So first you will have to write about the introduction, and then the definition, and then the steps. Is it in your course? So it is in the name of discovery and problem solving. There are two methods, but these are almost same. These two are almost same, problem solving and discovery. So far the steps are concerned, you can know. First is select some of a task. So when a geographical topic, so here task is a topic. It is like a problem. It is like a problem in geography. And the students, they have to solve the problem. Here the how it can be used. So then next is formulation of hypothesis. They will formulate a number of alternative solutions for that particular problem, and they will find out the testing of hypothesis. They will test the hypothesis. It is also mentioned in the problem solving method. Then exploring or finding knowledge, new knowledge. Exploring new knowledge. Then the solutions are the new knowledge. They will find out the new knowledge after testing the hypothesis. And how the hypothesis will be tested? The hypothesis will be tested either you will go to the nature, or you will in the classroom. Sometimes it is not possible on the part of the teacher to bring nature into the classroom situation. So to discover the knowledge, the students, they should have a short or long term visit to the situation where the geographical features are there. They will visit to the field, they will visit to the mountain side, they will visit to the river side, or they will visit to different places where raw materials are available. So they will observe there and they will get some knowledge, and they what they have formulate at the time of hypothesis formulation, then the hypothesis will automatically be tested, because when they will collect all the information through their observation, when they will explore all possible solutions, then they will find out the knowledge. Then the discussion of knowledge, or this is construction of knowledge, then they will explaining the knowledge, they will explain the knowledge what they have got, then recording. In this way, while writing this question, you have to select one topic. You have to select one topic because the question is discussed with example. So I am telling you in theory, and you have to select one geographical topic because the topics are given in your course. The topics in the unit 5 it is given in your course. Suppose latitude and longitude. How to calculate the time of a particular place. How the students they will discover the knowledge if the place is situated near the equator. So what will be the time of those places? They will have to discover the knowledge. So you will have to give a topic as a task. Then they will write the steps like this, and then the last part of the question is state its limitation. So what are the limitations? The major limitation is that all the topics cannot be taught through the discovery method, and discovery method is not applicable in lower class, because discovery method needs higher mental ability, problem solving ability of the students. That is why it is not applicable in lower class. It is only applicable in higher class, and we can give a project in the form of a geographical project to the students, and they will apply the discovery method, and they will make ready the project, or they will prepare the project. That is the regarding the discovery method. You can get more details in the book. If you have any doubt, you please ask me. Then explain how ICT can be incorporated in teaching of geography. So what you will write? First is importance of ICT. Importance of ICT in teaching learning process. You will have to provide a general idea regarding this aspect in teaching learning process. Importance of ICT or technology in teaching learning process. The next is different types of, just in brief, what are the different types of ICT. Then use of ICT in geography. Use of ICT in geography. How we can incorporate. So there are different types of technological devices. We can use those in the classroom, outside the classroom. We can suppose there is a discovery channel in the television. you can ask your students, or you can teach through that Discovery channel in the classroom also. The students, they will show the Discovery channel, they will show the you can show this Discovery channel to your students, you can show the Animal Planet to your students. They will see and they will ask questions and they will clarify their doubts. So use of ICT in geography. While writing use of ICT, you can write about one ICT and its use, how you have to provide examples how it is used in different topics. Suppose you are writing about the computer, television or internet, how these are used in geography, how these are used in geography. Or in the classroom we are using the PowerPoint, so how you can use in geography class. You have to describe all these aspects and you have to provide the examples while writing about the use of ICT for geography class. Okay. The next is discuss how geography laboratory and resource room can be organized for effective use in geography learning. So the geography laboratory and resource room. Geography lab and resource room. Geography, first you have to write about the necessity of geography lab and resource room in geography. As geography is a practical subject, so there should be a laboratory. The students, they should develop the practical knowledge. Geography is an applied science, that is why experiment should be conducted in laboratory. So resource room is a place where geographical resources should be stored or should be kept for the teaching learning process. So first, in the introduction part, you should write about geography laboratory and resource room. Then the materials of geography laboratory and resource room. The materials. What are the materials? Suppose rain gauge, wind vane, suppose thermometer. So there are so many instruments, and those instruments can be kept in the geography laboratory for experiment. And then what should be kept in the resource room? There are so many teaching learning materials, so many maps, so many charts, so globes. So these should be kept in the geography resource room. And how that can be organized? Organized, that means in the geography book it is mentioned that the size of the room, the place, the corner, and there should be shelf, there should be to hang the pictures, to hang the maps, there should be facilities there, and the long table. So everything, the equipments, it is mentioned, and you have to write all these things. So that is the organization of teaching learning materials for geography room. Geography learning, use of laboratory or necessity of laboratory and necessity of resource room. The next question is, prepare a unit plan for 1 unit of class 9th geography and suggest teaching learning materials required for it. It is a very good question. First you have to select one topic. Class 9. Exactly, it is not topic, it is one unit you have to select, because it is unit plan. It is not lesson plan. Select one unit. And the contents are mentioned here. You can select one content from that part also. from that part, that unit 5. And then unit plan, I told you many times. Serial number 1, name of the unit, or here you can write unit. Suppose it is unit 1 or 2 or like this. Name of the unit you can write here. Then sub unit. Then content point. Main content points. Then objectives. Then method. Then resources. The total number of period. Number of period. तापरे evaluation. Here you will write the name of the unit and the different sub-unit. And then what are the main content points of those sub-units. And then objectives. That is in a general form. Knowledge, understanding, application skill, which we have discussed in the context of general objectives. General instructional objectives. Then the method you will adopt. Then the resources, that means the teaching learning material. Then the number of period to complete that particular unit. And then here you will write the class, subject, then unit, name of the unit. Then in here like this you will have to prepare a table in the exam paper, and you will discuss all these things and suggest teaching learning materials required for it. Here you can mention, then in the last part you can write the teaching learning materials also in another paragraph. Then you will give a conclusion. Here if evaluation is formative. Okay, so you will write in this way. Unit plan. The next is prepare a plan for continuous assessment for any class of secondary level. So this is regarding continuous comprehensive evaluation. So continuous assessment for any class. So continuous assessment means you will have to write about CCE first. What is CCE? Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation. What is continuous? And when we examine the students throughout the year, when the examination or evaluation becomes a part of the teaching learning process, that is what the continuous is. So in that context, we have to evaluate both the scholastic and non-scholastic aspect. Non-scholastic aspect. So especially in scholastic aspect in geography, we can include the content knowledge of the students. And for the content knowledge of the students, we will have to write what is scholastic in geography and what is non-scholastic. And what are the non-scholastic aspects of the geography? Suppose the students, they are writing the life of a particular area, of the people of a particular area. That is also non-scholastic. Suppose the students will make a drawing of animals of a particular area, mountains of a particular area, a drawing of river. That is also non-scholastic. That is also non-scholastic. So suppose the students, they will have a discussion and debate on a particular geographical topic. that is also non-scholastic. If you can organize one drawing competition, one painting competition on geography, that is also non-scholastic. So for scholastic and non-scholastic aspect, how to make evaluation continuous? We can make evaluation continuous by doing, suppose, unit test, that is monthly test, continuous. Then for content knowledge, and we have also two types of examination. Besides this unit test, we have formative and summative, that is half yearly and annual. So to make the evaluation continuous in the context of scholastic examination, we can have the different types of examination like unit test, and in the classroom we can also test after every lesson to evaluate their instructional objectives, and then there is a half yearly or formative and summative. And besides this, to test scholastic aspect also, on content knowledge you can make quiz. You can make small group discussion. You can make debate. And for non-scholastic aspect, you can organize painting competition, drawing on geographical features, essay writing on geographical aspects, and you can also organize the fancy dress. How to measure this aspect also? The students, they will feature themselves as different geographical features. So besides this, there are also some suggestions you can maintain, that is portfolio, especially in geography, rubric, especially in geography. You can maintain all the records. Each and individual student should have a portfolio, and the participation of students in different geographical competitions, or participation of students in debate on geography, in discussion on geography, on quiz on geography, and the achievement of the students, all those records should be kept in a file, and that is the portfolio, that is the individual ability, that is the individual potentiality of the students in geography. That is also a type of test. And so far the rubric is concerned, we can have the different aspects of the students' performance. To what extent the student is competent in a particular aspect, we can also make use of these aspects. So you will have to write all these things about the prepare a plan for continuous. You can provide some examples, and how these examples these examples are can be continuous in evaluation or assessment can be incorporated to test the geography. The next is, what is latitude? This is the content, and write the appropriate method of teaching and resources required to transact the topic in the classroom. You can here adopt the observation cum demonstration method. You can write, and first portion is a small portion, and that carry less mark, and you can write about what is latitude. You can give the definition of the latitude and what is latitude, and then the next portion is you can write about the teacher should adapt the demonstration observation cum discussion method. How you are teaching a latitude chart, what are the teaching method, what are the main contents, what are the teaching methods, what are the resources required, what are the teaching learning materials, and how discussion will going on. You can give some examples of the questions and you can write the total, just like a lesson plan. Just like a lesson plan. You will have to discuss all the steps to teach latitude. To teach the latitude. So here one thing you must remember, that the contents given in the unit 5, you should be very thorough about all those contents. You should be very thorough about all those contents. Then next is identify the concept and sub-concepts of the topic of the climate and vegetation. So this is climate and vegetation, concept and sub-concept. So you should know about the climate and its sub-concept, concept, then appropriate teacher learner activities for the concept. Teacher learner activities for the students, for the teaching. So far the lesson plan is concerned, we have already discussed and we have already given our teaching in the light of that. We have a teacher activity column and we have a student activities column. So try to find out the different concepts of climate and what are supposed to present one concept. What should be the teacher activity and what should be the student activity. And you will have to prepare lesson plans like this. You will have